Rain fell like needles, drenching the graveyard in shadow. Ravi's boots sank into wet soil as he slipped through the broken iron gates. His stomach gnawed at him with relentless hunger. Legends whispered of a coin buried beneath the forgotten king's mausoleum, a coin that promised endless sustenance. Take it and never starve again. The mausoleum loomed ahead, stone walls slick with moss. Each step echoed, mingling with a distant drum of rain. The air was thick with rot, a smell that made Ravi gag. Every myth he'd scoffed at now pressed against his mind like a living thing. Plumb, inside, the cracked stone floor groaned beneath his crowbar. A narrow seam caught the tip. He pried, and the stone split with a low, groaning sound, as if the building itself were alive. And there it was, a coin, black as coal yet glowing faintly green. Ravi snatched it. It burned like a heartbeat in his palm, warm and insistent. The world stilled. The rain froze mid-silence, pressed in, then scratching. From every shadow, from cracks in the walls, hunched figures unfolded. Goblins. Skin stretched like leather over jagged bones, spines arching at unnatural angles, jaws unhinging wider than any human mouth should. Eyes glowed molten copper. Ravi froze. One screeched a sound not of this world, piercing through his skull. His ears rang, blood trickling from them. He ran. The first goblin leapt. Its claws sank into his shoulder, tearing flesh with a wet rip. He slammed it against a gravestone. The crunch echoed through the mausoleum, put his teeth, still sinking into him, chewed muscle off bone. The others tumbled after high-pitched cries, rising in a terrible chorus. Mud clung to his legs as he stumbled through the graveyard. The goblins weren't fast, they were relentless. Their claws scraped gravestones. One skittered across the air, jaw splitting further to bite his calf. He fell, twisting as it gnawed through tendon. Pain ripped up his leg. He could barely lift it, but he forced himself forward. A tomb collapsed beside him. Inside, dozens of tiny claws scraped his back, pulling threads of muscle. He rolled, coughing up blood, and the coin in his hand pulsed brighter, warmer, mocking him. He burst into the caretaker's shed, slamming the door. The stench of rot was suffocating. In the corner, the caretaker's corpse twitched violently, its jaw split down the middle, peeling back, teeth snapping. From its chest crawled goblins, black as spilled oil, their tiny claws gripping his arms and chest. Ravi screamed as one tore through his stomach. Warm, slippery intestines spilled onto his hands. Another bit through his wrist, sending a spray of blood across the shed's walls. He clawed the coin, fused now to his hand, feeling it burn through bone. He could not die. Pain became a relentless symphony. His skin peeled in strips, muscles shredded, ribs snapped under tiny jaws, but the coin pulsed, keeping him alive, forcing him to endure. Hours, or maybe minutes passed. He convulsed on the floor, barely recognizable as human. Goblins chewed, crawled, and dug into him, yet he twitched, screamed, and clawed. driven by the cursed coin. By dawn, only a skeletal husk remained, but the coin had fused into his fist, green light throbbing like a heartbeat. His body began to betray him further, bones bent, fingers fused into claws, teeth lengthened, spine splitting into jagged curves. He felt the goblins crawling inside him, merging, fusing. His mind fractured into 1,000 whispers, half his own, half theirs. Pain became ecstasy, horror became instinct. Flesh reformed. Ravi was no longer human. Taller, jagged claws tipped with green fire, hollow sockets glowing with molten hunger. But the coin had become the heart of a new abomination. The goblins now obeyed him, not the other way around. He stepped into the graveyard, dragging strings of his shredded body, eyes empty yet burning. Villagers whispered as they saw him among the tombs, goblins swarming at his heels, dragging him into the mud. His voice rose a chorus of agony, whispers, and mockery. Take it, and live like me. Those who heard it could not resist. They stepped into the graveyard and were consumed. Flesh, bones, and screams merged into new horrors, half human, half goblin, enslaved to the coin. Ravino, the creature, watched, eternal, and each scream, each tear of flesh was fuel. The coin pulsed, hungry, gleaming, as the graveyard grew hungrier with every moon. No one escaped. The legend was not a warning. It was a recruitment. The cursed coin demanded more, and now its master walked among the tombs, a nightmare far worse than the goblins that had hunted him. The rain returned, washing over the graveyard, but it could not cleanse the horror. Flesh, bone, and greed mingled with the mud. The cursed coin pulsed green at the center of the abomination, and Ravi's laughter sound impossible, fractured, eternal echoed through the fog. The curse never ended.